Teofimo got in there and said, no, I won.
Hell of a fighter, but I won tonight, man. Everybody know that. The referee raised my hand. I won tonight. I don't care what anybody says, yo.
And there was a couple of things that stood out, but the main thing that I know in our group chat we talked about, Leak, was the idea that throughout the fight, it seemed like Teofimo Lopez's father just really didn't have any strategic answers to combat what Kambosos was doing. So the question I'll propose to the chat, and either one of y'all can go first, is it time for Teofimo Lopez to switch out his father as his trainer for a more developed, a more polished, and more credentialed trainer if he's going to get to the top and reach that next level?
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, if you want to talk about, like you said, Teofimo potentially being, one of the greats of even current, boxing, then there's always a time in an athlete's career that you have to take that next step to be able to go past a threshold. For him, him losing that 135, he's going up to 140 now, so he can make weight easier and things like that. You just took your first loss. You just lost, got stripped of your belts. You're switching weights. Now will be the perfect time to make that move and restructure your corner. Your father can still be your father. He's going to be that. But the way that he was behaving in the corner during that Kambosos fight was just unacceptable. After round one, after you just get put down in round one, all you're hearing from your corner is, get him out of there. What is he still doing in there with you? That's not boxing advice in any way, shape, or form.
That ain't good advice, yeah.
That's just your pops telling you, you know what I'm saying, to figure it out on your own, basically. So, if he wants to come back, which he can, I don't think his career is over. Once again, he's moving up in weight now. We could see a reinvention of him as a whole if he decides to make some slight changes. The first and primary one, though, he needs to make some changes in that corner and get some better advice coming out of there if he wants to step up and be able to fight the monsters that's up there at 140, because there's some monsters up there right now, so
for sure.
he got to make some changes.
What do you think, Kane?
Yeah, and I mean, one loss, like I said, bro, one loss don't make you not great. You know what I mean? Like, one loss doesn't mean you can't potentially be a Hall of Famer or be great. All the greats lost, bro. The best 135-pound fighter in the history of boxing is Roberto Duran. He lost to Sugar Ray Leonard in the No Mas fight. Lost to him in their third fight, which they shouldn't have fought. He lost to Tommy Hearns on a devastating knockout. He lost a close fight to Marvin Hagler. That didn't make him not great. You know what I mean? But there comes a point in time where you gotta have a different voice in your ear. Just same way team switch coaches is football, basketball, team switch managers in baseball. That voice get old. You stop listening to that voice. You know what I mean? Like Lee said, he can be your father, but being your trainer is different. You know what I mean? There's a lot of great trainers in boxing, in the history of boxing. You know what I mean? Whether you go to Angelo Dundee, Cus D'Amato, Sugar Hill Stewart, Derrick James now, you know what I mean? Like, there's been some great trainers in the history of boxing, but there's his dad, the way he acts the other step is like he's trying to replicate everything Danny Garcia's dad is. That's literally like a knockoff version of Danny Garcia's father, realistically. But at least Danny Garcia's father is actually a trainer. He won't bullshit his son and just be like, get him out of there. We've heard him go off on his son for not sticking to the fundamentals. So yeah, I mean, he's gonna move up to 140, which is gonna be a more natural weight for him. But like Lee said, there's dangerous people at 142. So you don't get your dad out of your ear, get a new voice in there, bro. It's gonna be tough sledding.
Yeah, I think it's time now for Teofimo at this stage in his career, especially like Leak mentioned, with the talent that's in that division, that's in that weight class, if he's going to even go up or go down, whatever the case may be. I just think that the relationship now and the expertise are starting to show. And there are some fathers in the game who can do that. But then obviously the more competition you go up against, the more your game plan gets exposed and the more you have to think on the fly, especially in those big time fights. So hopefully that camp comes up with something where maybe they're not going to out Pops 100%. That's just not going to happen. That's not his nature. But hopefully that camp, and more especially Teofimo, can just come to a resolution where at least somebody with more experience in those bigger primetime fights can work something out.